A Norwich paedophile killed a brave member of the public, Dale Jackson, who had challenged him, Roland Wiles, about his raping of young children outside the Suffield Arms in Thorpe Market, North Norfolk, in September 2021. Roland Wiles was acquitted by a jury at Norwich Crown Court this week after only 1 hour and 43 minutes of deliberation. Since then, Roland Wiles has finally been sentenced by the cowardly British justice system to 24 years in prison for egregious child sexual offences. Restrictions were imposed to avoid the revelation of the link between his sexual offences and the manslaughter trial, so protecting the jury from knowledge of his disreputable past. Following his acquittal, the restrictions have been lifted, permitting us to exclusively reveal the particulars of the disagreement. Roland Wiles, residing on Mill Street in Norwich, was labelled a monster after he received a sentence of 25 years last November, comprising 24 years of incarceration and 12 months on licence. His outwardly respectable life was a facade that hid a deeply disturbing and darker side, the court had heard. He was found guilty of the repeated rape, sexual assault and molestation of 3 young girls and a boy, with the offences dating back almost 30 years to 1996 and continuing until 2022. Summing up the evidence in the manslaughter trial, Judge Alice Robinson said he had told police that during the confrontation Mr. Jackson had approached his vehicle gesturing aggressively, swearing and telling him "You're disgusting." Roland Wiles admitted getting out and saying "What's your problem?" but denied he had been angry or had intended to act aggressively. The prosecution had claimed he had not been acting in self-defense when he punched Mr. Jackson and rendered him unconscious on his feet. The blow caused him to fall backward and he hit his head on the ground, resulting in serious injuries. Roland Wiles told police he had thought OS**** after he saw blood coming from Mr. Jackson's ears as he lay unconscious on the ground and had got back in his car in shock. Witnesses had described Mr. Jackson being punched and his head hitting the ground with a sound like a coconut hitting concrete. The father of 2 from Cromer was airlifted to Addenbrooke's Hospital but died 6 days after sustaining his fatal injuries. Following him being cleared of manslaughter, Judge Robinson told him would face no further action over the death but that he was being returned to prison to continue his very lengthy sentence. Monster who lived seemingly respectable life. Roland Wiles's sexual offending spanned a quarter of a century from the summer of 1996 to his arrest in April 2023. The attack outside of the Suffield Arms happened more than a year and a half prior to his arrest. His trial heard his first victim was aged either 4 or 5 when she was raped by Roland Wiles, who then lived in a bungalow on a farm in the Norfolk area. The girl had been in a panic and didn't know what to do after the rape, which signaled the start of a catalogue of abuse against her and 3 other victims. Sentencing him, Judge Anthony Bates said he was a serial sex offender. In total, he was convicted of 26 sexual offences, including 6 counts of rape, 3 of indecent assault of a girl aged under 13, as well as inciting sexual activity in children. One of his victims told his sentencing hearing he was a monster who had caused so much destruction and heartbreak. The male victim said he had grown up knowing nothing other than sexual abuse and that the mental trauma had caused him to try to kill himself several times.